You're joking around with your wife at a holiday party, when suddenly your father-in-law staggers over, laughs, and, bam, lands a sucker punch straight to your crotch. Not hard enough to send you to the ER, but enough that your knees buckle and your pride takes a hit. Everyone laughs it off, including him. But me. Oh, I was already plotting. And my revenge, it came months later, hidden inside a shiny Pokémon. If you've ever tasted the sweet justice of getting even, whether it was small and petty or absolutely perfect, then you're going to love this story. Hit that subscribe button, drop a like, and comment your best revenge story below. Let's dive into how I turned my father-in-law's punch into the most frustrating glitch he's ever faced. It was December of 2021. The air was cold, Philly streets buzzing with holiday energy, and I was spending the holidays with my wife's family. Now, let me tell you, they know how to drink. Bottles clinking, music playing, the smell of turkey and whiskey mixing in the air, classic family chaos. I usually end up being the designated driver, so while everyone else got progressively red-faced and loud, I stayed sober. Honestly, I don't mind. It's kind of hilarious watching grown adults debate over nonsense when they're a few drinks in. At one point, I was playfully arguing with my wife and her sister. Something stupid like which strategy was best in a game. I'll admit it, I was purposely rage-baiting my wife just to get her fired up. You know, the way husbands sometimes poke the bear just to watch it growl. Suddenly, my father-in-law, already deep in the whiskey haze, stumbles over, laughing his head off. He slaps me on the back and says, "Here's how you deal with your husband." And before I could react, bam, a punch. Right in the jewels. Now if you're a guy, you already know. It doesn't matter if it's full force or just a tap. The pain is universal. It hits like a delayed explosion, and suddenly your whole body betrays you. Knees buckle, stomach twists, face flushes red, and all you can do is wince while everyone else laughs. The room erupted. My wife, her sister, even my mother-in-law. They all laughed like it was the funniest thing they'd seen in years. My father-in-law stood there with this big goofy grin, clearly proud of himself. After a few minutes he came back, clapped me on the shoulder and, half apologetic, offered, "Go ahead, punch me back." I shook my head. I wasn't going to throw fists, but in my mind, the seed of revenge was already planted. Fast forward a month, Pokémon Legends Arceus had just been released, and my wife's whole family was obsessed. We all had our own copies, and even my father-in-law, who doesn't usually game that much, was hooked. Now, I've been into Pokémon for years. I grind, I shiny hunt. I live for the rare stuff. So, naturally, I beat the game way faster than everyone else. One day, while experimenting, I stumbled on something bizarre. I had this shiny Giratina, my prized possession, and I discovered that whenever it used the move Shadow Sneak, the game crashed. Not just the game, the whole Nintendo Switch shut down. Full restart required. At first I thought it was a random glitch. But nope. Consistent. Every time Shadow Sneak was used, boom. Black screen. Total frustration, and that's when it clicked. My father-in-law's punch, his smug laughter, the opportunity sitting right in front of me. A few weeks later, we were all hanging out at my sister-in-law's house. The living room smelled like pizza and controller plastic, screens glowing as everyone traded and battled in Pokémon. I casually mentioned, "Hey, I've got a bunch of shiny Pokémon. Want me to trade some over?" I made it sound like I had a whole stockpile. The truth was, I didn't, but I knew exactly which one would hook him. My father-in-law's eyes lit up the second I mentioned shiny Giratina. He leaned forward, controller in hand, like a kid on Christmas morning.
"What? You've got one? Oh, yeah,"
I said as casual as possible. I traded it to him right there, suppressing a grin. And then I waited. Days passed, then weeks, months. I almost forgot about it. Until one day, we were all together again, and he started complaining. "My Switch keeps crashing!" I've restarted, reinstalled everything. "Nothing works. It's driving me insane." He went on and on about it, frustration dripping from every word. How he'd wasted hours troubleshooting, thinking it was his system, thinking maybe his games were corrupted. Finally, I leaned back, smirked, and asked, "Oh, is it whenever you use Shadow Sneak with that Giratina I gave you?" The room went silent. He froze. His jaw dropped as the realization hit. "That's T-chess for punching me in the dick last December," I said. For a moment, I wasn't sure how he'd react. Would he be mad? Embarrassed? And then he burst out laughing. Not just a chuckle, full-blown can't catch his breath laughter. He leaned back, shaking his head, tears forming in the corners of his eyes. "Oh my God," he said, between laughs. I wasted real time on that. I respect the long con. Even my wife and her sister couldn't stop laughing. The whole family agreed. It was hilarious. The cherry on top. Just days later, official articles started circulating online about the exact glitch. But by then, he'd already learned the hard way, from me. That's the thing about petty revenge. It doesn't always have to be loud or violent. Sometimes the sweetest victories are the ones that take time, the ones where you outsmart instead of outpunch. My father-in-law might have gotten the laugh that night in December, but months later I had the last laugh, and in the end, he respected me more for it. This story taught me something important. Sometimes patience makes revenge 10 times sweeter. It's about timing, subtlety, and letting karma ride shotgun until the perfect moment arrives. So, what about you? What's the most satisfying revenge you've ever pulled off, or even just witnessed? Drop your stories in the comments below. I'd love to read them. And hey, if you enjoyed this tale of shiny Pokémon justice, make sure to like, subscribe, and share this video with someone who appreciates a clever long game. Trust me, the best revenge is the one they never see coming.